Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Legend of Korra Book 2 Spirits episode commentary. This is in fact going to be my last Book 2 Spirits episode commentary because it's for K214 Light in the Dark, the season finale for Book 2 Spirits. I said I'd be putting this out on Thursday because of the Search hardcover review today, but all went well earlier on today, and so I'm actually getting this out on Wednesday, which is nice for you guys. But yeah, here's the episode commentary coming up. With this one, this is going to include the opening of the episode, so make sure you have your version of the episode ready to go with the Fire, Earth, Air, Water bit with the avatars. And I'm going to stop speaking now in a moment, and then when I come back speaking again, that's when you press play, and that's when we'll be synced up with my commentary track. Okay, so here we are with the season finale for Book 2 Spirits. K214, Light in the Dark. Line said by Unalaq earlier on in the season, and that's kind of the key theme of this episode. You really see, especially towards the end of this episode, that as much as Unalaq is the villain of this season, that he was key in Korra becoming more spiritual. It was that sort of unfortunate bad role that this guy had to play, but he ultimately did help her and helped kind of everyone to get where they needed to be just through his actions. It's weird, but it just works out pretty nicely. And obviously, we start this episode with a really bad position. Korra has obviously lost Rava. She doesn't have the Avatar state, spirit, or state anymore. And Unavatu now exists, the giant. And here we see Raiko preparing for something because he didn't want to help Korra prevent this from happening. And now he thinks all his ships are going to stop this giant spirit instead of helping Korra, the Avatar, to take down the enemy that she is destined to take down for 10,000 years. So it makes Raiko look terrible that, oh, I've kind of doomed the city here by not helping Korra prevent this thing from existing in the first place. And just seeing how, oh, look at that barrage of fire, and it's doing nothing to him. Again, it can still only bend water, which is a key point, but interesting nonetheless. But yeah, really interesting design for Unavatu, like mixed between a human and a spirit, physically, not just kind of the actual thoughts and stuff like that, and power. But yeah, like that Aang statue goes through a lot. Amon puts the Equalist mask over it, and now Unavatu just takes it out. Lovely kind of transition there from Aang's face in the water to Korra, both kind of defeated temporarily. Showing the Avatar is in a bad way right now, pretty much. And I love this moment here where they just stop and heal everyone. That they realize that they've just got beaten up a little bit. They need to be healed here before they can fight again. This was just a clever thing you don't often see. You often see just the characters are injured, they go into battle nonetheless. But no, they get healed here, and that's nice to see. And also because Korra's unconscious, you get this moment of her just waking up among everyone, and you have this kind of calm moment here before the just drama of everything else that's going to happen. Janora's back, but she still has something to do. She's still destined to do something, so she is special. And ultimately, her destiny was to be this kind of source of light in an otherwise dark world. And Korra's lost hope here because she doesn't have Rava. She doesn't have any confidence in herself as the person to do anything here without Rava. And there, he destroyed my connection to the past avatars. He didn't destroy the past avatars. He basically destroyed Rava's connection to the spirits of the past avatars, and thus Korra's. But it does suggest that there is a way for it to come back. I doubt it's going to happen immediately in book 3, but I think it may just happen at the end of like book 4 or something like that, as a nice kind of epic kind of finale, just the avatars returning or something like that. Biplanes being used for good this time, still no use. Lynn does get a moment here to kind of redeem herself for, not respecting Mako all season by saving Raiko. Here, love that laser sound effect. I think the track team says it's one of their best accomplishments. Just that laser sound effect. It's pretty awesome. And then Lin just spider lens it to save Raiko. Why did he decide that he was suddenly going to be going on this police airship as well? He's the president. That must have hurt landing like that and just destroying the top of a building while you land. I get Lin's tough and all, but wow. And then interesting that one of the abilities of Unavatu here is this kind of obviously it's a form of water bending, bending the plants and stuff like that. So interesting to keep everything kind of water bending based, including this vines. And they're going to play a key role in book 3 apparently, in that the spirits are going to kind of camp out around the only source of nature in an otherwise technological city. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic into book 3. And then Varric, who's kind of been out of the picture since he was kind of found out by Bolin at the start of this kind of 4-part finale, gets his do the thing moment as they escape, and it's not this. And he basically flies out of the story here to come back whenever he wants, whether that be 3 or 4. Vatu's coming back, but this is a key scene for Korra that I really do enjoy. He kind of gets his moment to apologize that he had some growth to do, and he can teach Korra that she needs to realize that she is herself. She isn't Rava. She isn't the Avatar because of Rava. She's powerful by herself and who she is. And right there, he wasn't talking about Rava. And then he's really going to teach her that Juan was a powerful person even before he was able to bend anything, because he showed compassion towards animals. He was willing to help the underdogs and stuff like that. Being the Avatar helped him to accomplish it a lot more through having that power, but he was powerful himself before that as a person. And Korra is the same way. She's really strong as a person, even without all the actual, physical powers that she has. Being the Avatar. And then here's the explanation for the Tree of Time. It has all these abilities. You can see your memories. It can connect you to the cosmic energies of the universe, and it connects the physical and spirit worlds together. This is where she remembers the breakup with Mako as well, which is an interesting moment. Your own inner spirit is your power, not being an avatar or dark avatar. And there it is. He was just a regular person, but he was, as Korra says, he was brave and smart and intelligent. Always wanted to defend the helpless. And it's a really nice lesson that this episode teaches you. A lot of people say Korra doesn't teach you many lessons, but they're more subtle, and in this case they really tell you what the lesson is. And it works because it's probably the biggest development that Korra's gone through in the series so far. And she sees Republic City in danger, and despite not having any powers, still wants to try and help. When she sees this, she instantly, her reaction is to, I need to help. And she kind of forgets about having her, not having Rava. And just Tenzin shows why he is her true mentor. He cares about her, even though he can't help her be more spiritual. He can help her as a person and just care about her and show that sort of compassion that Unalaq, even though he taught her some skills and some more spiritual stuff, didn't really care about her too much. And really strong moment here. She remembers what she learned from the beginnings, in that Rava is never truly destroyed, just like Vatu can never truly be destroyed. Even though she can't see Rava anymore, there's always a little bit of light. Find the light in the dark. And it's so key that Unalaq was the one who said that line. He was kind of joking to get her to do the whole thing in episode 2, the Southern Lights, but it worked. It helps Korra so much in that. Especially kind of towards the end of the episode, where she has to make the decision to keep the portals open. It's because of Unalaq wanting that to happen, because it's right for the spirits, but he's just taking it too far, and her realizing that that's actually the right thing to do. Here's Korra's big epic moment in the book. Her inner spirit, cosmically enhanced, comes out, and how fitting is it for Korra that her inner spirit, her power, is a giant. She, as a person, is, tough, strong, unyielding, I think, as Tenzin says. And so it's so fitting that her character is a physically strong giant who's kind of fighting on the good side. It's not that she learned some amazing special technical bending ability. She just is a big giant. That's her kind of personality. She's tough, and it's really fitting, I think, that her inner spirit is a giant. And it means that we have a really unique final battle. A lot of people complain that this was the final battle, giant on giant, but you have to remember that this fight has been going on basically since the start of episode 13. It started with Korra versus Vatu and Unalaq separate. They combined, and before he became a giant, they were still fighting. Really, Mila pointing at the obvious. She's back, and she's a blue giant, and he doesn't make any comments. Just like, oh, Avatar stuff. That must be usual. But even here, the fight that they have is really unique because look at the way Korra actually goes about attacking Unavatu. First, they fire their lasers at each other, which is awesome in itself. Korra laser beam, and she just overpowers him by herself. We have to remember this is just her spirit empowered by the cosmic energy of the universe. And this is Unavatu, a combination of a human and a spirit who just didn't care about humans. Knee to the face from Korra, fireman's carry, spin, and basically delivers John Cena's finishing move, the AA, through a mountain. So a bit of wrestling there too, just showing how tough Korra is. She's not just using bending, she's using powerful moves, punch to the chest. And here she's looking for that light in the dark. But right now, Rava kind of hasn't reformed yet within Unavatu, as Juan and Rava talked about. And this is where she kind of loses a little bit of hope, not seeing the light that she expected to see. And I like that they had this moment where she didn't just completely overpower Unavatu at the start. When she had hope, she was overpowering him. But then when she didn't, she kind of fell back a bit, and it's the arrival of Jinora that really helps. But we see that it's not all easy just for Korra's body as well. It has to be protected by everyone else in the spirit world. The dark spirits finally get up after Korra's airbending blast from episode 12, which is amazing to think that she kept them down for 3 episodes nearly. And here we see that waterbending, basically dark energy bending technique, going to destroy Korra's inner spirit here directly. But what happens is obviously that Jinora arrives, and again, as I said in the last episode, I think they could have explained it a bit more. Like they could have explained Amon's bloodbending technique in the finale of book 1. They could have explained Jinora's why she's so special, why light is attracted to her, why she can point out this light. But I think it works in that they show you enough that you can just make out that, okay, she's a character who has this connection to the spirits, especially light spirits, and is that little bit of source of light in an otherwise dark area. Nice Boesca moment, not forgetting it from the last episode. And here, as her spirit is about to be destroyed, we see Jinora arrive. And it's just having some light. Basically, in a way, she plants a seed or allows Korra to see the reformed light. Nice line from Iki there, that showing that her spirit is beautiful. And then, be careful, sweetie, from the mother. It's just a really nice moment for Jinora. She gets a big moment in the finale, just like Tenzin got his last time, and in this episode, Korra gets her big moment, Jinora gets hers. She kind of engulfs the area in light, kind of giving Rava a platform to reform from, basically, that she's given some light back to the world. And there it is, the little Rava reformed inside Vatu. Korra sees it and attacks renewed, which I think is just, with the music, Jinora's light is really powerful. Rips out Rava, and it's just this nice moment of, technically Rava saved Juan in the fight at the first harmonic convergence, though they did it together. it's Korra who saves Rava in the second harmonic convergence. It's just a nice kind of moment that Korra does this on her own with the help of her mentor Tenzin, and then she uses the light bending technique that Unalaq didn't teach her but showed her at the very least, and succeeds this time. And we assume with this basically what she's forced to do here, especially with the pose that she does afterwards, go in peace. She's effectively forced to destroy her uncle's soul, effectively, which is what happens here. Vaatu will be reformed again at some point because obviously that's how that thing works. Darkness can never truly be destroyed, but it can work. Obviously, Vaatu's going to come back. I doubt we'll see Vaatu return in Korra, but just to know that he's not never truly destroyed, that's just a whole light darkness balance thing going on. It's a fitting way, I thought, to end that battle, and then we have to reform before this happens. Rava, now out of Korra, potentially has the opportunity to kind of go about her life not as part of the Avatar anymore, but wants to be part of the Avatar once again, which I think says a lot about how much of an impact Wan had on her, which is nice to see that still going on, and she's still willing to do the good that the Avatar is doing and play a role in being the good Avatar, Rava. And everyone sees Giant Korra release Jinora and Rava. Nice moment here. He finally sees his kind of daughter fulfill her destiny. And then Korra returns her spirit to her body here. She saved the day on her own, using her own spirit. Jinora wakes up. Just like we actually do see Asami and Katara and Senna and Tonraq. And I like that the Asami asked about that she left them and they want to know what's up. And then Jinora just said, Korra saved the world. She saw what happened. Everyone looks up at her. It's just an epic kind of hero moment. She's saved the day. And a giant Rava back again because obviously she's in command now with Vaatu defeated. The world is still kind of engulfed in light just because of harmonic convergence and what Unavatu did, but Rava's still pretty big. And what a contrast between the first basically union of the Avatar and the second union of the Avatar. The first one done in the heat of battle, the second one just two willing participants wanting it to happen. It's just pretty special moments in terms of the Avatar world. Harmonic convergence ends, and Korra's left with the choice of does she close the portals or not. Really great moment there where that's basically giant Unavatu kind of Korra-like. She's glowing with the white Rava pattern, but she's back, but she still doesn't have the connection to the other avatars back, which is a key thing that I like that they kind of kept it as a real kind of serious thing, that this battle had a casualty, and that was her connection to the other avatars that she still doesn't have back yet. Maybe she'll get it back another time, but for now, that's a kind of casualty. And I think they needed to do that after her getting her bending back at the end of book one. And I love that she goes straight over to Eska and Desna to apologize what happened to their father. She just apologizes because she knows how much they cared about him. But they realize now that he didn't care about. The two realize that he didn't care about them at all. And it's a nice little journey for them. It wasn't hugely focused on. They referenced their mother, but it's good. I think they probably will come back at some point. I hope they do. But then the romance kind of stuff starts to get resolved, and basically the resolution in romance here apparently is no one gets together with anyone, and there's no relationships really. And Bill and Nesca, we thought were going to be together, but they're not. mutually agree to always love each other, but they can't be together right now. And I have no idea what they're going to do with that. If it's going to come back, if that kind of makes me doubt if they'll even come back, just because what's going to happen, I don't know. And here's Korra's big decision, and I suppose the conclusion to her moment, her kind of arc with Tenzin. She's given this decision of whether to keep the portals, close the portals, or keep them open. And usually Tenzin would give his opinion on this sort of subject and tell her, this is the logical thing to do. But this time, she makes the decision on her own. Tenzin doesn't even try to kind of convince her either way. He's just happy with the decision she's going to make because she's grown enough, which is a huge contrast from the start of the book. And I love that she has listened to what Unalaka said, even though it was kind of from the villain. That it makes sense that humans and spirits are meant to actually live together. That's the way it was, kind of. At the beginning, the Tree of Time links the two worlds. Shouldn't they be linked in terms of the people as well? And she makes that decision. I don't quite like the line when she says maybe Juan was wrong, because I think he was correct for the situation that he had right then. War was going to be inevitable either way. He just made it so that it wasn't humans versus spirits. It just happened so that when he split up the two parties, a war between humans erupted. And maybe some of the other avatars before Korra should have attempted to maybe get the bond back between humans and spirits and open the portals, but it was sort of fitting that Korra was the one to make that decision. And then here's the moment I like the scene of this kind of second kind of less angry breakup between the two. It is a good scene. I just don't quite see where they get what they say from. Like Korra says they're not meant to be together, Mako agrees. The problem is that they haven't had that scene since the first breakup to actually show that there's something horribly wrong with their relationship, apart from the fact that they broke up in the middle of a heated moment. Now, you can read into that a lot, and that means that they can't work. If they can't work in a heated moment, then they can't work at all. But it just kind of came out of nowhere because they got through a lot of issues at the start, and then got over them with the whole the Southern Lights episode. They got over some of them, and then the breakup happened over what to do over a war, and they didn't really get a moment to talk about their relationship since then until this second breakup. So I'm just not happy that there wasn't another scene, and it says a lot that Asami and Mako, you don't really know if they're together at the end of the book because there's no focus on them. And I do love this final scene kind of here where Korra just giving a really good speech, a real contrast to her first one arriving in Republic City. She announces her father as the chief. That relationship has been healed in this season. And that, as much as we should look back at the past, they have to do things themselves. And this is Korra making her big decision as the Avatar, keeping the portals open. And there you go. Humans can enter the spirit world, spirits can enter the physical world. And she's not going to be the bridge, but she will be the Avatar for all times. Because it shouldn't be the job of one person to be the bridge. Everyone should be balanced between both worlds in some ways. Shift in the planet's energies, that's going to be probably a plot point, I feel. Something to do with book 3 or 4. And we're entering a new age in the world. And we're going to see that in book 3 change. It should be amazing, but yeah, what a season of Korra we just had there. I really do love Book 2 Spirits. It's not perfect, no season of any show is, but for me this is really good. I think it was just a little bit better than Book 1, even though Book 1 was really good. It's really hard to compare it to Avatar The Last Airbender books, but it had an epic finale on the level of Sozin's Comet with the finale that we had here. Amazing, in my opinion, character development for Korra at the end with what the lesson that they taught. Aang taught Tenzin, and then Tenzin taught Korra. And you just had a lot of stuff going on through this season with spirits and interesting villains in Vatu and Unalaq. Really impressive. Definitely the kind of, I suppose, negative from the season would probably be that Asami definitely needs time in book 3 to just be a character. I'm not going to say that she needs character development or anything like that, because that has to happen naturally. She just needs more time on screen, because they presented some form of a business plot with Varric here. He escaped, and so we didn't really get a resolution to that. So you're sort of left wondering, does she own Varric's corporation now because he's technically a criminal and she was in business with him? Does she just get her company back, or does she get his company? Who knows what the situation is there, but either way, she probably needs a little bit more time. They definitely need to just do something with the romance with regards to just settling it down, keeping whatever couples together for whatever time. I think Makora ultimately is going to be the canon ship at the end of the day, because I think Mike and Brian have said as much, that those two kids were made for each other, so that's going to come back. I just hope they don't spend too long over the course of book 3 and 4 presenting that to us. But, book 2 Spirits, lot to live up to because everyone was excited for the Spirit stuff. Has probably my 2 favorite episodes of Korra ever in it, in Beginnings Part 1 and 2. And then those finale episodes are just brilliant too, so I'm going to end it here before I start going on and on about other stuff. But yep, that's been the end of my Book 2 Spirit episode commentaries. I will be back doing commentary tracks for Book 3 Change whenever it comes out. And also check out my channel for Book 3 news updates, Book 3 reviews whenever it comes out. Avatar comic reviews, and pretty much anything Avatar related that comes out that is newsworthy will be covered on my channel. So thanks for watching this last Book 2 commentary, and bye.